It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. We've made it to the hump. We are humping our way through the week. How is everyone doing today on this beautiful Wednesday, December 3rd? Humping? Well, I'll tell you who's not humping. Apparently, the Travis and Taylor fans and I, okay? Because they are out for blood today. I have never seen anything like it. They are so mad at me today. So we're going to get into it. And don't worry, we are going to dispel the angry rumors that they've created in their own heads about whether or not Travis and Taylor argue. I think it's a big misunderstanding. We'll get into all of that. We have a big story about Blake Lively versus Popcorn Planet that I'm going to try to break down for you in the most Donna way possible, which is not super legal, but more just about another frustrating move on the Blake Lively side. This bee just keeps on being, if you know what I mean, right? She just keeps being. And when I say being, I don't mean existing. You know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Speaking of bee, Bethenny was on Call Her Daddy. And look, I've had a love-hate relationship with Bethenny through the years. I think a lot of us have. And I truly have, I have felt very, she's very polarizing. She admits that she is. But I enjoyed most of the interview that I heard. And she does open up about her marriage and her divorce. And it's pretty emotional and telling. Plus, we have a big separation in the Love is Blind world. We'll get into that and some more other little hot topics. Make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. You guys, we're going to have a fun day today on Daily Dose of Donna. So yesterday I had a Patreon I was going to say after school. Do I still think I'm in school? So funny. I had a Patreon episode yesterday, a live Patreon, and it just reminded me because Josh here in the comments said, am I the only one without sound? And I did my first minute of my live Patreon without sound. And I was like talking to myself, and no one was responding. And it was really frustrating. And I hated it. But I ended up getting my sound. So make sure to go over there. Let's see what topics we talked about in the Patreon. I saved my spicy topics for Patreon. Okay. So what did I talk about? I talked about Kelly Dodd, that whole drama, because I won't touch it over here on this show. I talked about Kelly Dodd. I talked about, I have a list. We talked more about Turtle Boy. We talked about Candace Owens. And Colonel Kurtz's new series that she's doing about exposing Candace Owens. That's kind of an interesting little side note. There's a lot. It was an interesting discussion. We talked about a lot of stuff over there. It was kind of fun. And I had fun. I'm sure you guys did too. If you are part of the upper tier of the Patreon, which is the happy hour tier, we're doing that on Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So grab your eggnog, grab your martini, grab your coffee, grab your LaCroix, grab your hot toddy, whatever it is you're drinking, and come on over Friday night and hang out with us, okay? And we can talk about all kinds of things. We can talk about the Diddy doc. We can talk about all new drama and gossip, and that is a Zoom where I get to see your beautiful faces. And I love it so much. Everyone is asking about the sweater. This sweater is wild. Every time I wear it, people fall on the floor over it, literally. I hope you guys aren't falling on the floor. Emily says, hi, everyone. Someone please send me the info for the newsletter. I really like the sweater Donna is wearing. I need one. So I did send out the info on my newsletter like 3 Sundays ago or 2 Sundays ago. So it won't be in every newsletter. It goes usually on the week that I wear it. But I should find a way to always accumulate the links in my like profile. So Lauren, who does my newsletter, I should talk to her about doing it. And we should have like a link of all my things. But this is from Vici. And according to Special K, it's sold out. Maybe I sold it out. Wouldn't that be fun? It's Vici collection. Yeah, Donna's fashion line coming up soon. It's just going to be this sweater and a Cody Brown wig. That's my whole fashion collection, and a Bronwyn poncho. Speaking of Bronwyn, did you guys watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last night? Can you believe she's still showing up at the airport in those goddamn inflatables? At some point, we have to like put down the inflatables, right? Put down the inflatables, Bronwyn. What would you do? I want to say, what would you do if your husband did this? But like, seriously, what would you do if you if you had a spouse that was still coming to pick you up at the airport after so many years in an inflatable blow up like dinosaur outfit? It's so odd. It's the strangest thing. I took a picture of it. I posted it on my stories. Let me see if I can pull it up really fast here. It's really the strangest thing I've ever seen. I mean, he has to know, Todd, her husband has to know that it's going to happen, because why else is production there filming when they're at, the airport? But there's the sloth just kind of walking on over to Todd. He's coming home from a business trip. And mind you, this is not a guy that like never travels. This is a guy that travels all the time. So he travels every single week, and she goes every single week to the airport in a new inflatable. I can't believe it. Ah! Like, it is kind of funny. And I actually give it to her that she's trying to inject some joy into this like dead fish of a husband that she has, because Todd truly is like seriously such a lump on a log. Okay. He is like, "Brr." Todd is the definition of like, I'm sorry, he's the definition of when a man is supposed to lose a boner for a girl. I'm just keeping it real. Okay. She is growing on me too, Tiffany. I agree. Last season, I couldn't stand her, or the season before. This season, I like her. I like Bronwyn this season. And I hate to admit that, because like I really enjoyed not liking her last season, but I like her this season. But she is the women. Todd, her husband, is the woman equivalent of like, mer, mer. It's the desert. It's a dryer. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be really not gross about it, but and her relationship with mom, Muzzy. Muzzy, and we're not doing a whole Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, because honestly, it was a pretty filler, boring episode. But Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last night, there was one sweet scene. There has been some sweet scenes with Bronwyn and Muzzy. And Muzzy, the first time Muzzy showed up on the scene, she was such a bee. She was like really not a nice woman. She looked actually like an awful mother. In fact, she got really horrible. You know, people were really not happy about the way that she came off. Like, for example, I'm just finding it really quickly here on Two Judgy Girls, which is an Instagram, a podcast, etc. They posted when she first showed up on the scene, can we talk about Muzzy? Tough to hear the way she speaks to Bronwyn. And Kate Casey wrote monster. This is 7 weeks ago. But now she's showing up in the episodes and she's coming off actually still sweet. She's kind. She's loving. She's adoring on her. And I like them together, actually. I actually have, Muzzy has grown on me. Now, Dylan was in the room, my 13-year-old. My 13-year-old was in the room last night. We were watching. And he said, what kind of a person calls their adult mother Muzzy? And I said, you, Dylan, that's my new name. You're calling me Muzzy from now on. So everyone, it's your daily dose of Muzzy. Okay. We're going to get into the stories now. I do have a couple hot topic stories before we get into the big Popcorn Planet story that I thought you guys would be interested in. The Love is Blind relationship that is over. Are you shocked by this? I don't know. A lot of people are shocked and a lot of people are not. I have some thoughts. I mean, TMZ was the first to kind of share it. And this is obviously some of you guys may not even know who this couple is. Let me just find the article really fast because it got hidden in the 15 other tabs. That are you guys ADHD like me? Do you have 4,600 tabs open on your computer at all times? That's how I feel about my life. I have. Let me think about. Wait, what is this about Candace Owens on TMZ now? I can't. Um, Please stop. Stop the madness. Okay, here we go. Love is Blind, Alexa and Brennan. Brennan Lemieux. I think that's how you say their last name. Lemieux. They say we're getting divorced and they're splitting 1 year after their daughter's birth. Now, what season were they on? Season 3. So if you guys remember them from season 3. And this was actually kind of a cute couple. They were a cute couple. He was the cowboy hatted one, right? Didn't he always have the cowboy hat? And she came from a sweet, fun family. I want to say she was I just remember she was Jewish. I remember they celebrated Shabbat, so I love that. You know me. And I thought they were a sweet family. Now, it's a little confusing because she announced the news in a post today on Instagram, writing after much reflection and many heartfelt conversations, we've made the difficult decision to end our marriage. The choice was not made lightly. I mean, this is literally ChatGPT, right? And it comes with a great deal of care, respect, and appreciation for the time we've shared. We've entered this relationship with love. Da 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 da. We kindly ask for privacy. Okay. It's like we kindly ask for privacy. TMZ.com, the first person that writes about it. So they met on Netflix. They tied the knot on camera in July 2021, and they welcomed their baby girl, Vienna Ziva Lemieux, 3 years later. This is them sharing Valentine's Day at Raising Cane's. I mean, maybe that was the thing that took them down. I don't know. I don't know. Now, last year, Alexa told people that Love is Blind is the only way their marriage would have happened, saying it allowed for both of us to communicate and really put ourselves out there. But I did get a DM from someone saying that just in July, they had a write-up in People Magazine or something along those lines. I'm trying to find the article where they talked about how in love they were and how perfect everything was and how wonderful everything was. And those are the people that make me concerned. Honestly, here we go. In July, this is on people.com. In July, Alexa posted to Instagram to mark their 4th anniversary. Okay. I'm just going to share this tab. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. It's probably going to be hard to see, but it says in July, happy 4 years to my lobster, she said. Thank you for being my person. I never knew I could love someone the way I love you, and blessed every day that love made the most perfect daughter. That's actually not love. That's just, well, I don't need to do the birds and the bees, right? Molly's calling me Muzzy. Okay. Muzzy. You still give me butterflies and make my heart skip a beat. Alexa continued, so grateful for the love, laughter, adventures, and priceless memories we've already made, and I can't wait to make a million more. Well, that didn't work out so well. I'm sad about it. But the reason why I said I'm not surprised on my Instagram stories and everyone's like, what? What? How could you not be surprised? I think it's because these relationships are so hard to maintain in real life. Like reality show relationships are so hard. But also, I think it's kind of a kiss of death when you say things are so perfect. I do. Like, I'm just being honest, you guys. I don't think I've ever written in my entire life. I don't think I've ever written in my entire life how perfect my relationship is with Lance. Because I would be a big fat liar. A BFL. You've heard of a BBL. I would be a BFL. And I don't know why I'm pointing to my butt, but I would be a BFL. Because in what world do you meet someone with an entirely separate background? I'm talking about Alexa and Brennan, right? He was a cowboy dude. She was kind of like a more fancy pants, Jewish girl. I wanna say she came from an Israeli family. I mean, hello, I know that. I come from one as well. And then they marry each other, and even if they were in love with each other, then they have a baby. Those first years of having a baby are the hardest years of your life, no question. Hello, no question. And then Lee, that actually makes me laugh because that's so true, Muzzy. No relationship is perfect, and I've been married 22 years. Wait, Muzzy's actually catching on. It's so true, right? Like those first years, I looked at Lance sometimes at like 3 in the morning when he was sleeping soundly and Dylan was crying and colicky and wouldn't go back to bed. And I looked at him and I was like, why did I have a child with you? I wish I was a lesbian because women actually wake up when their babies are crying. Wow. Like the craziest angry thoughts. And then Lance would wake up and he'd be like, gotta go. I've got to go to work. And I'd be like, I'm still covered in milk. It was the hardest time of my life. Don't tell me that you're like swimming in rainbows and okay, fine. But then you put it on social media like, I never knew a love like this could last. I never knew a love like this could be. I just think it's so funny. Molly, who's here in the comments, is so funny. I mean, Molly and I have I don't want to call her a friend, but this person that Molly and I know, she and her husband write things to each other on Facebook. I hope Molly is still here. She and her husband, oh, thank you, Christina. That's for the newsletter. It's dailydosepod.com/newsletter. Molly and I talk about this couple that we know that they write on Facebook. Soliloquies to each other. I never knew a man like you could exist. When you wake up in the morning and you make me a cup of coffee, I feel loved by God. And then when you pour some milk into the coffee, my heart feels full and my stomach feels touched by the energy of everything. I am satiated by the world and we don't need a house over our heads because you are in my life. It's like they're literally pulling out the book, like, even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. Everything. It's like, it's just too performative for me personally. And maybe some people feel this way, but I just don't think that it's real. Now, Micah doesn't belong to me. He says I'd pour something else into that coffee. Holy crap. Micah does not belong to me. He is not, what he says is not indicative of me. Now, I'm just going to actually take this moment to segue into the Taylor Travis story because this is a perfect moment to talk about that. I got into a big fight with about 9 million people today. Laura, I'm dying. Join Muzzy's Patreon. That's me. Thanks, Laura. Okay, so Taylor and Travis, and this is how crazy this all went down. Taylor and Travis had a headline this morning, and I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it. And it basically said, I saw it on, I think I shared the People magazine one, but the headline, and this is very important because I just shared the headline and everyone went freaking like, I don't know. I think I like literally, you would think I attacked someone's child. Okay. The headline was Taylor and Travis, or Travis Kelce, sorry. Travis Kelce says he and Taylor Swift have never once had an argument during their 2.5-year relationship. So I shared on my Instagram, red flag alert. And then in my Instagram caption, I said, and this is honestly just based on the headline, okay? In my Instagram caption, I said, Call me a bubble burster, but you mean to tell me, I guess I'll just show you guys my post. Call me a bubble burster, but you mean to tell me that the biggest pop star in the world and the most popular NFL star I've never ever fought in 2.5 years through travel schedules, world tours, the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni drama, the Trump PR, the ex-girlfriend mentions, and the biggest letdown of an album? One of the Tree Pain PR headline is this. Okay. I awoke the beasts. Now, this is a 2-layer argument that we're about to have right here. Okay. Are you guys ready? What happened was, first of all, the comments, and here on Instagram, there is positive and negative. My Facebook page. So what happens on Instagram is every time I post something on Instagram, it immediately shares to my public Facebook page. And I jump over to Facebook. And when I tell you the anger from people on Facebook, I'm going to read you one of the comments, okay? Are you ready? One of the comments I get is this. She says this. What do they have to fight about? Money? Sharing of responsibilities? Feeling underappreciated? Not being a priority to the other person? Families not getting along? Not on the same page about what they both want? No. I would imagine they are one of those couples who gets frustrated with each other when one puts their own needs aside for the other because they are both givers and they both give each other so much. Maybe don't make an accusation on something with you at which you have actual zero knowledge, and maybe really don't call a wonderful, loving, committed couple a red flag. Do better. I got yelled at. Do better. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but all the money in the entire world does not make a healthy relationship. Can we all agree on that? Can we all agree that a lot of money does not make you happy? I mean, it makes life easier, but it does not make. I've seen a lot of really rich people kill each other. I watch true crime, right? I just watch The Beast in Me. Okay. A lot of money does not make you a happy person. Then secondly, this woman is attacking me for just making a statement about relationships in general. I'm not making relationships about only a conversation about Travis and Taylor. I'm just saying, like, in general, I think, and I'm not saying all out, drag out, fight, scream, yell, throw shit across the walls, lock each other out, call the cops on each other, Zachary Ty Bryan style. I'm just saying healthy arguments are fine. And in fact, I actually think really good for a relationship. And it doesn't have to be big arguments. It could be more like, I don't like that you don't do the dishes after you eat your dinner every night. And can you maybe do the dishes starting tomorrow? And is there any way that you can help me around the house more often? Because I feel like I'm picking up all the slack after I work all day. Stuff like that. And there's very basic disagreements that couples will have in just your normal life. It could be about what you eat. It could be about how you sleep at night. It could be about the temperature of your home. It could be about how much you clean after your 15 cats. And we know Taylor has 15 cats. There's normal arguments, okay? So it would be so weird if Lance ever went on the record and said, I don't fight with my wife. Like, that would be so weird. I would be like, that's so weird. Why are you lying? Like, that's the strangest thing. Then, and I love that your comments are live and like stay on the screen, because then other people can read these later, because then I don't feel like the need to read your guys' comments. You can all read it. And I think it's, yes, put the toilet seat down. You mean to tell me that Travis Kelce never makes a mess in the toilet area? He's a man. Okay. Or he doesn't like fart, or like he doesn't make a mess when he's like playing Xbox. It's like she's a human being. Plus, there's more to this. Taylor Swift is a 30-something-year-old human being who's never, like, she's been in relationships, but she's a very successful person. And Lance actually brought up a really important part when I bring up the George Clooney of it all. But wait, there's more, because the abuse on Facebook didn't stop there. Someone else commented and said this, and I'm not reading their names because I'm going to try to help them out and like not share their names because this is insane commenting. Okay. You do realize it's possible for couples to not fight, right? You don't see fighting and arguments as red flags. Those are green flags to you. Look, I packed my bags 18 years ago with my son in my arms, and I left an abusive relationship and swore never again, and I didn't. I stayed single a long time to heal. I saw a few people, became friends with my now husband, and we've never fought, and we've been married 11 years now. Do we have disagreements on things? Yes. Is there arguing and fighting? No. Why? Because we're adults, Donna. Adults talk and communicate, especially if there's disagreement. There's no need to argue and fight with the person you love. Maybe stop thinking green flags are red or get your eyes checked because you're colorblind. Jeez. I said, I didn't mean be in an abusive relationship. I'm really sorry that this triggered your past. And this is not what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that this is a red flag. You should be in an abusive, like true crime movie. This is not what we are doing. Like, I'm just saying what she's probably living right now, which is disagreements with your husband, is probably the healthy lifestyle. That's all I'm saying. Where she is right now in this new relationship where she's having disagreements, that's what everyone should have. Are we okay? Is like Christmas stressing people? But then I did get a comment and it did end here. It ends with us. Okay. It did end here. And it did end with this. And I know I'm gonna get a call from my mom later being like, Donna, I am worried about you. Donna, I am worried that someone is going to come and hurt you. Are you okay? Because I do think someone will. These people actually are mad at me. Someone did say you're becoming insufferable now with the assumptions and the projections and the outrage. Keep this one to yourself. Okay, I got that. But then I also did. Hold on, no, the big one. The big one was, now I sound like Kelly Dodd because I'm reading all the hate comments. Hold on. How can I find it? I think probably Facebook just hid it from me because they were like, this woman is stupid. It was something along the lines of, and I don't even know where to find it now, but it was something along the lines of, Donna, I know what's going on. You are jealous of Taylor Swift. And I said, you're right. I actually am. I am fully jealous of Taylor Swift. And if you're not, something's wrong with you. Who wouldn't be jealous of Taylor Swift? Damn, I would do anything to make sourdough in my kitchen all day. Oh my God, I would love to be Taylor Swift. So yes, you figured it out. The whole post was written out of, because then she was like, it's not red flags, it's green flags of jealousy. I was not okay. This was wild. But I want to share with you guys one of the most important parts of this entire story is the actual clip of what happened, because everyone is fighting so hard for Travis and Taylor that they don't fight, right? That you would actually think that they don't fight. But that's not in any way. I don't think in any way that that's what Travis was actually saying. See, I didn't watch the podcast. I'm not like a New Heights person. I don't watch all of their podcasts. Do you? I don't watch them, but I did get sent the actual clip. And if you watch the actual clip, you're going to see that it's with George Clooney. And Travis Kelce is talking to George Clooney with the brother, Jason Kelce. And they're talking about George Clooney saying that he's never fought with his wife, Amal Clooney, for 10 years. And I need to know from you guys if you believe that to be true or not. But I want you guys to listen to the way that Travis Kelce talks back and tell me, do you hear any sarcasm in this conversation at all? Let's listen for ourselves. This is the clip from the Kelce brothers Instagram post.
You and your wife haven't gotten in a fight in 10 years.
That's right.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not lying. Travis, shall we ask you the same questions?
Well, it's only been 2.5 years, and you're right. I haven't gotten in an argument.
All right.
Never once.
Honestly, neither of us are going to win the argument, so why get in it?
There we go.
There you go.
That's a smart man right there.
You know?
What's the secret? Just staying out of the argument altogether?
Dude, I'm 64 years old, and what am I going to argue about at this point? I'm like,
Yeah.
I've met this incredible woman that, she stands for all the most important things that I believe in the world, and I can't believe how lucky I am. So what am I going to fight about? I'm like,
That's a great answer.
God damn, that's a good one.
Too late to do it. Yeah, you can use that if you want.
I'm stealing it for sure.
I'm just taking notes this whole time, big guy. You don't even know. You claim.
If only you could see what was going on in my head. Guys, I'm sorry. I am so jaded by Hollywood. I am truly so jaded by Hollywood that I have a hard time watching that and feeling anything but a big old pile of bullshit. Number one, George Clooney gets asked by Travis Kelce, hi, so we hear that you have not argued with your wife in 10 years. And George Clooney gives the most bullshit, like, yup, that's true. And they laugh hysterically. Everyone is lying to you, right? We know that. We're aware of that. We're smart enough to understand that they're all being sarcastic. And then when he says, what about you, Travis? And Travis goes, yup, 2.5 years, never once had an argument. He's being sarcastic. So the whole thing makes my point true, that to not argue in 2.5 years is insane. And it's not true. So all of these crazy stands that attacked me in the comments are fighting for what Travis never actually said. It's so clear that Travis was lying or joking when he said that they never argued. And George Clooney, if you want me to believe for 1 second that a man at George Clooney's age gets married to a woman at Amal Clooney's age, two incredibly successful people, two incredibly powerful people, two incredibly rich people, and you put these two people from different nationalities, from different countries, from different worlds together with huge careers, huge everything together, and you expect that both of them just bow down to each other like, okay, you run the show. You're telling me that George Clooney is a beta to Amal and Amal is a beta to George? My ass. My ass. Of course they fight. You guys, George Clooney wrote an op-ed getting Biden out of the presidency. This guy is not a pussy. He's not a wallflower. He's not scared. He is the biggest, bullshitter. Remember, he's the biggest pranker on movie sets. This is such a lie. And the American weirdos, sorry, no, not trying to talk shit about Americans or anything, but all these movie star lovers and Hollywood lovers are oh my God, they're so cute. They're so sweet. This is the sweetest husband ever. I need everyone to be so gullible. It's so funny. Of course they fight because they're human and they're lying right to us and they know it. They're laughing about it and everyone's believing it. The comments, oh my God, they know it. Great. They're such great men. Oh my God, they're so sweet. Happy wife, happy life. So sweet. What? Am I just not, maybe I'm too jaded. All right, let's move on to another story. Let me know what you guys think about George Clooney and if you think he's telling the truth. Now, speaking of another story, before we get into that, if you guys are listening in your living room or on a couch or anywhere where you like to be cozy, I'm wearing the sweater, but since the sweater is sold out, let's get ourselves something else that is cozy. And that is my favorite, and it's the Lola blanket. Okay. If you guys want an amazing deal, the best deal on the market for the Lola blanket, the highly coveted, most amazing, #1 selling blanket in the entire world, it's that Lola blanket. Okay. My personal wind down ritual at night is turning on Housewives or turning on the P. Diddy documentary. I know what you're thinking. It's weird, but I still watch it to relax during these colder nights on the couch with my Lola blanket. I'm a blanket person. I love it. It just feels so cozy. It's crafted with ultra soft luxury vegan faux fur and a signature 4-way stretch. It's machine washable, double hemmed for durability, and stays flawless. No pilling, no shedding, even after repeated washes. It's my go-to gift. It's personal, beautiful, and something people actually use every day. Around the holidays, it's the ultimate present, cozy, thoughtful, and guaranteed to get that "oh wow" reaction. This time of year, when you're decorating and pulling your home together, a Lola isn't just a blanket. It's the missing piece that makes your space feel complete, warm, and inviting. So make sure to give the gift of softness this holiday season with Lola blankets. For a limited time, our listeners are getting a huge 40% off their entire order at lolablankets.com by using code DailyDose at checkout. Just head to lolablankets.com and use code DailyDose for 40% off. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them I sent you. All right, let's get into this Blake Lively and Blake Lively and Popcorn Planet story. So I have really, I really struggle keeping up with this Blake Lively stories because I'm really over it all until there's like massive breaks in the case. Luckily, there's so many other content creators who are covering it, but this one is actually, it has something to do with a a friend of mine. I've become friends with Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet throughout this process. He obviously is producing this documentary. It ends with justice. Is that what it's called? And I was interviewed for it. So of course I met him in person. So did Zach, so did Elsie, so did Lauren Knighty, so did many others. And he has he's been doing this YouTube thing, this journalism thing. He covered the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Every single time I talk about any big story, you guys are like, Andy talked about this. He covered a lot of stuff with Michael Jackson. He covered a lot of stuff with Britney Spears. He covered a lot of stuff with, Diddy. He's been covering cases and stories and entertainment stories for years. So he's been around. He has almost 1 million YouTube subscribers. Like, I think he has like 950,000. So the guy is very, very successful here on this platform. And he was one of the 107 creators that was subpoenaed back in, I don't even know what month that was now, when Blake Lively and her team went out and subpoenaed all the content creators. And he was one of the major ones that was subpoenaed, like with the other big creators that were, right? So with Perez and now I can't remember who the big ones were. Perez, Candace. Who were like the big names that were subpoenaed at the very beginning? I like truly cannot remember. Megyn Kelly. Was Shirsty one of the big ones at the very beginning? No, it wasn't Shirsty. No, it was Perez, Candace, and Andy. Yeah, I think it was just the 3 of them. I feel like I'm missing one more. Yeah, Candace and Perez were the only other 2 that were subpoenaed directly. Everyone else was through YouTube or TikTok. Exactly. They were like, there was a couple big creators that were subpoenaed directly, and it were bigger, wider subpoenas, right? They were asking for a lot more information. They were asking for more privilege. They were asking for more of their text messages and their communications. Whereas a lot of other content creators were subpoenaed simply through YouTube, TikTok, X, other platforms, Google, etc. And for those, they were only asking about, like financials and analytics and like random stuff like that, but they weren't asking about their actual text messages or their emails or whatever. So this was a really, really big subpoena that Andy got. And as you know, I actually don't really know what's going on at all in the Candace Owens world of it. I don't think she talks about it at all. So I don't even know what's happening there. I'm pretty sure Megan got hers quashed. Perez Hilton did a big, media push. So he was talking about that publicly when he got his quashed down in Nevada. And then the rest of the 107 content creators, as far as I know, or the 100 some content creators, as far as I know, all were able to get theirs quashed individually in small cases here and there. The only ones that I ever really heard from or talked to were Lauren Knighty. That's the only one that I'm really friendly with on a day-to-day basis that I talk to. So yes, and Perez had the ACLU help him. Now, Andy, I don't talk to Andy, just being 100% honest. I don't talk to Andy often. I definitely don't talk to him in a one-on-one basis, except I've talked to him on a one-on-one basis, like about, Michael Jackson. Like I'll reach out to him and be like, you believe the guys about Michael Jackson, or you don't believe Michael Jackson, or you believe Britney Spears. Like we'll talk about that kind of stuff lately, but we haven't talked about the case. We haven't talked about that other than in a more group way in the last few months. And like I said, I haven't been so clued into the case in a legal sense, just because there's so many filings every day. And it feels so mundane to me personally. But Andy, I know, did file the motion to quash in Florida. And the reason he did that was, well, actually, I don't really know the specific reason he did do it, but his lawyers decided to do that. He lives in Florida. He chose to do that. So his choices, I guess, were to go in Florida or to do it in New York, where the original case was held. Now, the problem, it looks to me like because it was done in Florida, it ended up actually hurting him in the end. And unfortunately, yesterday was a ruling that didn't go his way. Now, there has been a press release that has just been released. And this is what it reads. It says, the Florida judge rules against independent journalism for celebrity Blake Lively. So I want you guys to just remember this. And I'll just say this about Andy. There's a lot of bad press that goes on around this case, right? For both sides, obviously. There's going to be a lot of people that are team Justin that are going to talk a lot of smack about everyone involved on the Blake Lively side. Anyone, Hugh Jackman, Taylor Swift, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, any of Blake Lively's former coworkers, any of the people involved with It Ends With Us, Colleen Hoover, etc. Then you're going to have a lot of Team Blake people, anyone that, is on Blake Lively's side, that is really going to take a moment like this to come after every one of these wins that Blake Lively wins, I say in quotes, that Blake Lively has. And they're going to come after something like this. And they're going to now just really hop on this trend of being like, Andy was wrong. And see, Andy did this. Andy created this smear campaign. And Andy did this. And Andy did that. And I just want to say, before I read and get into the story, I really want us to remember what the actual case was here. Okay. So before I get into the story, I just want to remind everyone here. Blake Lively went after Justin Baldoni and the producers of It Ends With Us for saying that she was sexually harassed on a film set, and then retaliated by those people for a smear campaign. And now, as this sideshow, she's going after 107 content creators. And out of 107 of them, she nailed one. So far, he will appeal, as far as I know, but she nailed one. And this one, why Andy is so important to this case for her, is because he's the only one that actually is creating this major, major documentary against her, where he not only got a lot of other content creators to speak about her and speak about the case, but he actually also got crew members and executives and Hollywood people on this documentary to speak about their experiences. And this is very, very damaging for Blake Lively. Understandably, she would want to shut him up. Understandably, someone like Andy with his 1 million YouTube subscribers and his, past in the industry, and also this documentary is going to have a lot more damage to her than Twitter user 723 with 12 followers. She doesn't really give a shit about those people. She was looking to find if they had any smear campaign info. She didn't find anything, by the way. But now she's got this Andy and she's like, let's go, right? He's the biggest fish, Patricia says. Yes. And the documentary will make Blake and Ryan look terrible. Of course. I don't believe it's going to make them look any worse than they already do. But they're going to do everything that they possibly can do to shut him up and to quiet him down. And it's very, Joy is saying, who is Andy? When I say Andy, he is the creator. He's the CEO behind Popcorn Planet, which is the YouTube channel that is being subpoenaed by Blake Lively. And I'll get into. So this is the press release that Popcorn Planet just released. It says, in a ruling that has alarmed digital media experts and First Amendment advocates, a federal magistrate judge in the Middle District of Florida has denied journalist protections to Andy Signore, founder of the independent news network Popcorn Planet, solely because his reporting appears on YouTube rather than in traditional corporate media. So let me finish reading it and then I'll go into it. Judge Lindsay Griffin, that's the name of the judge, ruled that Signore, despite hosting a daily investigative news platform with nearly 1 million subscribers, does not qualify as a journalist under Florida's reporter's privilege statute. As a result, he has been ordered to turn over private communications with sources related to the high-profile Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni legal case. Communications shared in confidence by whistleblowers fearing retaliation in Hollywood. This ruling is a chilling attack on independent journalism, Signore says. It suggests that unless you work for a newspaper or legacy media corporation, you have no right to protect your sources. That is not only wrong, it endangers every whistleblower, content creator, podcaster, and independent reporter working today. Throughout the case, the magistrate judge accepted sealed claims from Lively's legal team at face value while dismissing Signore's sworn testimony. By doing so, the court effectively created a two-tiered system of press rights, one for corporate media and one for independent journalists who operate on modern platforms such as YouTube, podcasts, or online publications. Legal analysts warn that if allowed to stand, this ruling could erode long-established reporter protections and discourage insiders from coming forward, particularly in industries like entertainment where pressure and retaliation are common. Signore's legal team is preparing to appeal directly to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, bypassing further proceedings in the Middle District of Florida. A petition to the U.S. Supreme Court remains possible depending on the outcome. Independent journalism is not the fringe. It is the future, Signore adds. Millions rely on digital reporters for honest coverage that isn't filtered through studios, publicists, or corporate interests. If the courts erase our protections, powerful people will be able to silence inconvenient reporting with a single subpoena. To support the appeal, Signore has launched a new public campaign to raise a legal war chest for what will be a significant and costly fight to defend the rights of modern journalists. And then he puts his link below, which is givesendgo.com/Blake appeal. So essentially what they're saying is, and the whole order I have, and it's an 18-page order, which is long. So I don't want to spend too much time going through it. I think the best thing to do is just basically kind of give you the skinny on it. It was the motion to quash was denied, essentially just basically by saying that Andy Signore, because he operates on YouTube, which I don't know about you guys, this is where I get my info now. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. When was the last time you guys needed like breaking news and you were like TV on, CNN. When was the last time you did that? I can't think of the last time I ever was like, oh, shoot, there's breaking news. Let me run to the market and get a copy of the LA Times. I can't even imagine. Or even to go to latimes.com because you have to pay for it. I would never. I would go to X. I would go to, and it's dangerous a little bit, the fact that we don't have like news, but even the news, as we know, is filtered through so many voices. I don't trust the New York Times. And a lot of people do this, right? All the Substacks, all the newspapers on, all the news journalists on Substack, all the Aaron Parnases of the world, the Kara Swishers, of course, now I can't think of anyone, but like all of the people that deliver the news every day in an independent platform online. There's hundreds from the left to the right. Now it's not news anymore because it's on a computer. It's on your phone. A lot of people watch YouTube on their TVs. What's the difference? This is insane. This is an insane concept. This is someone that doesn't understand the media platform of 2025. So it says it's denied as moot, and basically by saying that he doesn't qualify under Florida statute, which limits protection to salaried employees or contractors for traditional media outlets, which is newspapers, TV stations. A self-operated YouTube channel lacks these formal structures and editorial standards, and it's clearly not a newspaper or a news magazine. I mean, everyone should argue this. Even, honestly, even like, and you know what's so frustrating about this, by the way? Yes, it's so interesting. Micah, is only Lester Holt allowed to be a journalist? Like, no, only Barbara Walters in her grave is only still allowed to be a journalist. Like Dan Rather. It's so crazy. And so then it says also the waiver of privilege. There's also a few other things here. It says Popcorn Planet delayed providing a privilege log for 3 months until court ordered and submitted a vague conclusory one lacking specifics, which constitutes a waiver. An in-camera review revealed irrelevant, non-privileged content anyway. They felt that the materials were highly relevant to Lively's claims of a coordinated campaign of retaliation via media manipulation. I'm just reading the notes from the document. And Lively shows compelling need to have them revealed as they go to the, quote, heart of the matter in her libel allegations. And let me see. On the underlying allegations, Lively claims the defendants directly engaged with media platforms to overwhelm and confuse the public's understanding of Miss Lively's allegations, to drive negative sentiment against Miss Lively, including seeding content on platforms like Reddit and with small audiences and lax editorial standards. Because Popcorn Planet fails to establish that the privilege applies and fails to demonstrate an undue burden, the amended motion to quash is denied. It's really, really frustrating. Now, there's a few different things that comes out of it, of course. And, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play for you guys, not actually Golden's take on it, because she has a really interesting take on the whole thing. It's very frustrating because I do think that at the end of the day, he really should not have to. He should not have to get to turn over his stuff. Like, I don't think he should have to. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure her side would believe that that he should have to, but let me find it really fast. Hold on. TikTok, not actually golden. Is this it? Hold on. Oh, NASCAR. Where does she cover it? Sorry, guys. I can't find it. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, okay. I get it. It's a long video and then they just cut it. Okay. I'm going to try to find it, but it's going to take a second. But basically she put out that she believes that, you know, there was definitely a lot of issues with it. There was some stuff in it that he had these conversations with a defendant, like a long text message back and forth with one of the defendants, and I believe she outed that it was Melissa Nathan. Here we go. Now I finally found it. Oh my god, that took forever, and I'm really sorry about that, you guys. Here we go. Share screen. Sorry, that was so annoying.
That Popcorn Planet lost their motion to quash. I read through it. I do have a couple of thoughts. It appears to me that the largest problem they had is where they physically are. Where you physically are sometimes makes a huge difference in terms of the law. I wish people would understand that more. So they are in Florida, which means they're covered by Florida law, but they're also in federal court in the 11th Circuit. The 11th Circuit covers Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. And both Florida law and the 11th Circuit take a very, very narrow position on what you have to be to qualify as a journalist to get journalist privilege. Had they made this same argument in Nevada, they might have won, but they were making it in Florida, and so they lost. I will say the judge took some digs at both Andy and his lawyers here, saying like, you know, because you're looking at what kind of an organization is it? Is a professional reporter, because that's what the law requires in Florida. And so he says, you know, he formed it as a for-profit, and he drops this snarky footnote that's like, you said in a sworn declaration that it's a 501c3, but it's not. And we can see that from the Florida Department of State, where people list the companies. So there's some sloppiness here that I think probably didn't help. I'm sure that's not on Andy. I'm sure that's on the people who wrote the declaration for him. But long story short, under Florida law, you have to be a quote unquote professional journalist. And the judge was like, you're a YouTuber and you like talk about current events, but that doesn't make you a journalist under this particular law. And then again, some digs here about Popcorn Planet clues without analysis, right? So he's like, you didn't give me anything that, I think it's actually a she. She's like, you didn't really give me anything to work with. Now, I don't know that it would have mattered because the law is not great. Also, this didn't help that he did not provide a privilege log until months after the deadline. So he waived a lot of the privilege, right? Like, I don't know if this is his first time dealing with litigation. I don't know. But that didn't help either. And then the privilege log they gave didn't really get up to par. Now, the judge says a lot of like, the counsel said this and counsel said that. Sometimes judges do that and sometimes they don't. It's a matter of style. Sometimes it's the judge's way of digging at somebody's attorneys. I can't tell here, but it says counsel for Popcorn Planet argued it was nonsense or absurd that he had to log every text message, whatever. When somebody goes in front of a court and says, it's obvious, clearly, that's absurd, that is a tell that it is very much not clear and it is very much not absurd. It's like a joke, right? Like if you're writing a legal document and it's like clearly blah, 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 what you're saying is it is so unclear. right? So I think maybe they pushed it a little bit too hard. Again, I'm not sure I'm not saying anyone committed malpractice. I'm not sure the law it would have mattered, but the judge doesn't seem to be real thrilled with the way that this was argued. And then, of course, this is the thing that everybody's talking about, which totally makes sense. That says, for example, item 4 on the privilege log is a 6-month-long, 89-page text message conversation between Signori and a defendant and the underlying lawsuit. Based on what the order says at the beginning, the only defendants that the order names by name in terms of like being involved in the case are Brian Friedman and Melissa Nathan. I think it's with one of them. That's my guess if I had to guess. But he's like, sorry, but that shit is relevant. She saw this in camera, and she's like, sorry, this shit is relevant. So he's going to have to turn it over. Now, I don't know what that stuff is. I don't know if it's about the documentary. Just talk about the documentary in here. So maybe it's a bunch of like, hey, can you make this person available? Hey, can you make this person available? We want to interview them. I don't know. But there is a 6-month-long, 89-page text message conversation between the Popcorn Planet guy and some defendant on this case who I think is either Friedman or Nathan, and they're going to have to turn it over. Now, the judge does say, by the way, some of this stuff has already shown up in other productions. So I think there might be some crossover with some of the things, I'm guessing Nathan, that somebody else has turned over. So it's not all going to be new necessarily, for whatever that's worth. But he has to do it, and he has to do it pretty fast. So that is unquestionably a win for Lively. I think that it's important that people understand that these issues of who is a journalist and who is not, for purposes of the First Amendment, are very much unsettled in a lot of places. Perez Hilton was able to do this and get it quashed in Nevada, in large part because Nevada has much, much more broad laws about who constitutes a journalist, because that is what they have decided to do in the state of Nevada in their legislature. So we want to protect journalists. It's in part a business move to say, if you want to come here and start a website and do all kinds of crazy shit on it, we got you covered, right? That might be part of the reason why Perez Hilton moved there. But Florida doesn't have that. And so that kind of put
That's bummer.
Popcorn Planet in this space of like, you have to deal with the law that you've got in the place that you're in. And that law turned out to be very good for him. So I don't know. I haven't looked to see if he's talked about it on his page. I'm sure he will. But it looks like he's going to have to turn that stuff over. And we are all going to get to see who he's been talking to for 6 months.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer for him. And it's a bummer for the case. I mean, what do you guys think? Obviously, I'm reading your comments. I mean, this is such a crazy case. Like someone said, are you moving to Nevada? Definitely not. But also, I don't believe in my heart that, these cases don't come around that often, where someone really feels like there's a smear campaign against them and is going after content creators. Like Blake Lively, her situation is 1 in a million in the sense of doing this. Like, this is weird. I don't think anyone has ever done anything like she's doing. She is unprecedented in the way that she's going after people like this. It's strange. It's really, truly strange. Because so many people talk about public cases like this from top to bottom. No one has ever subpoenaed and gone after content creators the way Blake Lively has done. No one. So this is really nuts. But I do wonder, and I'm kind of curious, and I haven't talked to Andy about this at all, but I am curious, like, who made that decision to go in Florida versus New York? Because I do think that probably could have been a choice that his attorneys made. Like, they did probably make that choice, no? To file in New York or in Florida versus New York. So a lot of you guys are saying Andy looked unwell yesterday. Andy looked bummed that he will go to jail rather than turning in any sources. Where did he talk about this? Because I haven't seen him talk. Did he go live yesterday? Did he have a stream? Did he have a members only or something? Because I haven't seen anything. I'm actually curious if he spoke about it. But I would be interested to hear what his attorneys have to say. And I do think that he should, in my opinion, I think he should reach out, if he hasn't already, reach out to the ACLU. Did he say he has? Which is what Perez Hilton ended up doing, which is, an organization that will hopefully help him in any way. What's a bummer is that, oh yeah, when he was talking about Will Smith, he talked about it. Do you know if it's early on the video or later? Because I would love to watch it really fast. If anyone has an idea of where it is, if it's like at the beginning or not, because it would be nice to be able to watch him talk about it. It says Jada Pinkett Smith threatened Will Smith. It's probably on that one. Does he talk about it at the end? Let me see. Let's see. Oh, you'll have to watch on his website. Huh, that's a bummer. Yeah, it's not there. Okay. I'll go to his website later and I'll watch it. Okay. So that's that. And then of course, people are very, very frustrated with the way that Blake Lively's team, of course, when I say her team, her supporters are kind of spinning it. Of course, they are spinning it in the most obnoxious way, like so happy, like a loser. And I can't even go there because I think to myself, like this ex-patriarch guy, I think to myself, what a piece of crapola. Because I wish he would have known, he could easily be turned into someone, in this case as well. A lot of you guys are telling me to go look at Hugh Jackman's post. I guess Hugh Jackman posted something and Ryan Reynolds is in it. I'm looking at Hugh Jackman's post right now and I'm just seeing a lot of random pictures. I'm not seeing any Ryan Reynolds. Oh, lady with a Ryan Reynolds sign. I can't believe I am this close to Ryan Reynolds. Took a picture. Weird. The obsession with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, they're so fascinated with each other. These obsessive weirdos. This woman. I can't believe I'm this close to Ryan Reynolds. It's a weird story, these two. Hugh Jackman needs some help right now. Okay, let's move on to another story. Yeah. I just saw something really funny and I have to share this with you guys. This is such a random little story. But did you guys hear about this Abby Lee Miller and Neil Patrick Harris Facetune situation? Oh my God, it's so funny. So Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms, she Facetuned Neil Patrick Harris on her Instagram. And he commented and he was like, wait, what? Look how she Facetuned him. It's so good. Look what she did to his face. She totally filtered his face. And what? That's not even his face. It's so funny. Oh my God. So she posted that on her picture and he goes, what did you do? The story is so good. But I didn't realize it at first, but Abby Lee Miller follows me on Instagram and I was like, what? Why? Look, it says follow back. I had no idea. But if you go through this whole photo, so she posted a picture with, the first one is with James Corden. Okay. He looks normal. She didn't filter him. The next one is with what's his name? Bobby Cannavale. Looks totally normal. He doesn't look filtered. And then it's this. And I'm like, what? He looks like Barbie. It's so funny. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. So he writes, what did you do to my face? She responds, where did she put it? The response. Oh my God, where is it? I can't see it right now, but she responded something like, like something like, well, I've had cancer and this and this and that, so I filter myself, but you're gorgeous or whatever. Now, even Facetune commented, Abby, let me proofread your post next time, baby gorgeous. Good times. Now let's get into the Bethenny Frankel of it all. Bethenny Frankel was on Call Her Daddy, and she opened up about her marriage, or her divorce, I should say. Do you guys care for Bethenny Frankel? The reason I like Bethenny Frankel is because she is so polarizing, and I relate to that. You know, so many people hate me. So I do actually relate to the Bethenny Frankel of it all, because everything she does, people really hate her or love her. I'm going to put this on 1.25, her conversation with Alex Cooper. Alex Cooper is just killing the game right now. Let's be real. We're talking about her every goddamn week. She has the best guests. This is her talking about her divorce. It comes up in a second or two.
Prenup, you must invest in it. You must show it to 5 people with
Hold on.
experience.
Okay. It's
Yes.
remember, I'm doing this at 1.25. So Bethenny, maybe I shouldn't, because she talks so damn fast. I think I may have to make it slower. Hold on. Bethenny is a real fast talker. I'll just keep it at normal speed.
Talk to me about what was the most painful, but also like the hardest lesson you learned from that experience.
Okay, so first of all, there are just the rules and guidelines. Doesn't matter who the moneyed person is. You must have a very, very clear and good prenup. You must invest in it. You must show it to 5 people with experience. If you can't afford a good one and a good lawyer, then you can get the shit lawyer, but have 5 people who've been through a divorce look at it. This is so critical. I cannot express it enough, because when you want to be out of something, you have no idea.
Do you hear
Second
that,
of
Taylor and
all,
Travis?
You have to go with your gut, and cracks become craters. You guys heard a little bit about my childhood. It is nothing. Literally, I have seen my mother slit her wrists. I have lived my whole life of chasing her into bathrooms, trying to catch her throwing up. I've been around guns, the mafia, the racetrack. I've been through everything. I've seen her beaten within an inch of her life with a phone. I have seen everything. Nothing compares to what my divorce was for 10 years. Nothing. That is child's play compared to the trauma of someone wanting to torture you and telling you that they're going to do it, and you are the person who's the more successful, so you look like the powerhouse tyrant, and it's like optics look like this person's just a victim, and someone, again, with the pawn as a child. Like, it is so important. It was so traumatic. It was 10 years of my life. I lost hair. I thought I would never survive it. I didn't want to. I had to because of my daughter. I literally thought I'll never be happy again. I will never I will never. And I treated it like a marathon, and I went 1 mile at a time, and I checked every box. I mean, it was fraud, it was stealing, it was hacking, it was harassment, it was abuse, it was Googling me 60 times a day. It was staying in bed and staring into my face. It was calling me every bad character in the books, Ursula the witch, and you're ugly, and it was torture. And I literally, the only thing that got me through was saying, one day I'll be able to help people. It was millions of dollars. That's not even important. It was millions of, one day I'll be able to help people. Like, it was literally FaceTime to a toilet so I couldn't talk to my daughter. I know, Bryn, I know you don't want to go with your mama. I know you want to be like, it was torment from 1 minute to the last minute of the 10th year. And I don't even care if I get sued. I don't care. Like, every woman needs to know, do not fuck around and find out. It was the worst thing that I could ever wish upon a person.
I am so sorry, because I can feel you.
Wow. Right? Is that not just like a raw moment? Who here has been divorced? I'm curious. I have not been divorced, but I truly have been. I mean, I was a child of a divorce, the worst divorce, I mean, that I experienced. Obviously, everyone had their own experiences, but I was a child of like such a horrible divorce situation. And this sounds real bad. real bad. Now, I still wish I really, really knew the story. And I feel like she tells us the stories, and yet I don't feel like I hear the stories. Like, I feel like I just don't really know what exactly happened. And I would love to really fully know, but I don't fully know exactly what happened. It sounds just so wild to me. I believe her. I really do believe Bethenny, but I also don't understand how this man made such a switch. She really does make him out to be the most like psycho, truly sociopathic psycho person ever, ever, ever. And it's just so crazy to know that we watched him on that show. I mean, if you guys watched Bethany Ever After or Bethany Happily, what was it? Bethany Married or Bethany Ever Happy, whatever the whole thing was, the Bethany Married one. I can't remember what Bethany Ever After, Bethany, I can't remember what they were. I feel like he wasn't perfect, but we didn't see Psycho Jason come out. Maybe that we saw them fight, you know? So it's so wild to hear that he was capable of torturing this really, 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 really strong woman. I mean, Bethany is without a doubt one of the most independent, strong people we have ever met on reality TV. So to ever be able to see that is it's crazy to see that this guy was capable of that. To me, I'm always really surprised by that. And I always selfishly want to know his side. But then again, like, why? Because he's never going to have the same side as, you know, she's going to have. And he's going to come in there and be like, she changed the story and it's not true and whatever. But I'm always very curious. Another thing, like a secret curiosity that I always have, is I am so curious to know what Bryn thinks. And another thing I'm always really curious about is she just moved to Miami with Bryn, and she talks about that all the time. And I always think to myself, why does Bryn, how can Bethenny move to Miami with Bryn when Jason doesn't live in Miami? Like, how does that work? I'm always very, very curious about that. Now, someone I know, and I can't remember who told me, did tell me once that that they saw Jason Hoppy on a plane with like a current wife or a girlfriend or something. But Jason Hoppy is like the man that disappeared. Like no one sees him. He almost never gets cited. He reminds me of that guy that caught the ball at the Cubs game. Remember the guy that caught the ball at the Cubs game and ruined their chances to win the World Series? We've talked about this on the show again. And then literally disappeared. No one saw him again. Steve Bartman always reminds me of Steve Bartman. Where is Jason Hoppy? That should be the next big series I should do on YouTube. Where is finding Jason Hoppy? Looking for Jason Hoppy. Who is Jason Hoppy? That should be my series. Divorce sounds like hell, but what she ends up saying later in the episode is never stay together for the kids. Like absolutely, Bartman, yes. Never stay together for the kids, ever, ever, ever. So if you are together and you're staying together for the kids because you're scared of divorce, she's saying that's even worse. So her suggestion is make sure to get a prenup and do that. And that is such a hard conversation to have, I think, when you're dating, and especially if you're young and in love. Travis and Taylor for sure have a prenup, right? Now, I did see the Pop Apologists. Do you guys know the Pop Apologists? I did see a post that they did. I'm actually curious what you guys think about this. I did see a post that they did a while back, and it was a little while ago, like maybe last week. And there was a lot of people in their comments that were upset with them. Shocker, because it's about Taylor and Travis. And it was about their thoughts about if they think they should have a prenup. Not a prenup. It's about their money. If they should share the money or if they shouldn't or whatever. And I wonder if I can find the reel really fast. But basically, they believe that one of them, is this it? Here we go. I don't know, actually. They have so many reels that look exactly the same. So there's no way I'm going to be able to find it. Or maybe they deleted actually. It's possible. So I think that the reason why oh yeah, here we go. We found it. I found it. It's about their financial negotiations and it's about a blind item. Okay, here we go.
This blind item that came out said there's a supposed wedding this off season, but things are a little rough between the A+ list singer and her betrothed. The financial negotiations behind the scenes have been pretty cold-hearted. Also, he wants to play a year longer or even more, and after that get into broadcasting. She doesn't want any of that. That rings as true to me.
Why? Say more.
I don't know. There's just something about this where I could see her being like, yeah, like there is just no combining of assets. I could see the prenup just being like, what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. Whatever we each make stays ours.
Yeah.
And what I think Travis Kelce should do is he should say, no, what's yours is yours and what's mine is also yours.
Also yours.
That is the only way to approach this prenuptial agreement in a way that is honestly, I think, fair. I just think that he has already profited so much off the relationship.
No matter what happens in the end. And I knock on wood, God forbid.
Like
No matter what happens, he will always be a megastar because of this.
Yeah, and she has fully put him on the global map.
What are your guys' thoughts about their take? Do you think that Travis and Taylor should go into their marriage with what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours for the rest of their life? Or what's mine is mine, Taylor saying what's mine is mine, and Travis saying what's yours is mine? Or what's ours is ours? That's the question. Do they share all of their money, Travis and Taylor? Oh my God, your stories are crazy. Number one, hold on. Michelle is saying, I made your live. That's so exciting. Welcome, Michelle. Lori Jane has the worst story I've ever heard. My son is going through the worst process of trying to get a divorce. We found out she was sleeping around, and 2 of my grandkids aren't my son's kids. Do we need to have like a day where I just read your guys' crazy family stories? That is absolutely the most awful thing I've ever heard, Lori. I don't even know how to handle that. That is truly the worst thing I've ever heard. I would lose my mind if my son married a woman and then I found out that their kids weren't actually my grandkids. I'm so mad for you. Oh my God. That is crazy. Okay, so what do you guys think? Yes, we should do this so we can all trauma bond. Let's do an episode before the end of the year where you guys write in your crazy family stories. That would be actually a really good way to not feel as insane. I have the crazy stories too. You don't even know the crazy stories I have. And I'll just read it out loud as like an anonymous. Okay, so what do you think about Taylor and Travis? What do you think they're going to do financially? I think they're going to keep their own money. Don't you think? Susan says before marriage money separate from married money. Travis is so basically all keep your before marriage money separate, and then the money that they make during marriage keep together. You think that that's what they're going to do? That's interesting. Keep finances separate. I don't know what rich people do, like real rich people do. I know that what I did with my husband was we kept our money, like I kept assets from before separate. That's what I did. Scott Swift will make sure she's protected. Oh, Taylor. But you know what? If I had connections to Bethenny and I was getting married right now, I would have her be like my financial advisor. I'm not joking. I would call Bethenny and be like, I'm about to get married. I need you to advise me through the process. I feel like no one would be better at this process than Bethenny Frankel. She'd be like, don't do this, do this. Don't do this, do this. Don't do this, do this. separate and have a joint account they contribute to. Can you imagine Taylor and Travis being like, I bought the groceries this week, so you have to pay LADWP, okay? That's Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Okay. And then she's like, I paid for Netflix. Did you pay for Hulu? See, I'm telling you, they're going to argue. They will argue. So all of you bitches that were yelling at me on Facebook, stop projecting your own stuff. They will argue. Taylor and Travis are going to argue about streaming services. Okay? And they're going to argue about cat hair. And they will surely argue about sex after they have kids. Because I can tell you right now that Travis Kelce wants to get laid way more than Taylor Swift wants to do it. I just know it in my heart. She wants to bake sourdough. She wants to play with her cats. And he's going to want more. Because this is life. Life happens. Okay? Life is just life. Sorry. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Fun episode. I'll see you guys mañana on Thursday. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the episode. And I will see you guys later. I'll talk to you later. Bye.